Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is March 30th, 2018, and I want to share something with you from Revelation 14 and 15 and a connection between the harvest and this timing of Passover. Okay, in Revelation 14, starting in verse 14, it talks about the earth's harvest. So then I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and on the cloud sat one like the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, in his hand a sharp sickle. Another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud, "Thrust in your sickle and reap, for the time has come for you to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe." So he sat on the cloud, thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Then another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar who had power over fire, and he cried with a loud cry to him who had the sharp sickle, saying, "Thrust in your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe." So the angel thrust his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trampled outside the city, and blood came out of the winepress up to the horses' bridles for 1,600 furlongs. Okay, and I personally believe this is a precursor, right, to the bowl judgments, which is the harvest time just before the Great Tribulation. Okay, then if we go into chapter 15, let's go into chapter 15 here. So it goes from what was the harvest of the earth in chapter 14, then it goes to, in chapter 15, what is entitled here Prelude to the Bowl Judgments, and that is said because in chapter 16 the bowl judgments begin. But what do we see here in in chapter 15? It says, "Then I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them the wrath of God is complete. And I saw something like a sea of glass mingled with fire, and those who have the victory over the beast, over his image and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having harps of God. They sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb." Okay, we have two clues here about the timing of this. One is the servant of God, Moses, the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb. Okay, well, we know the Lamb was crucified on Passover, but we have an example of the song of Moses in the book of Exodus that shows us when the song of Moses was sung. The song of Moses is sung right here in Revelation chapter 15 after the harvest. Okay, the song of Moses, the servant of God. Okay? Now we are in Exodus chapter 14. This is the crossing of the Red Sea. And then if we go into chapter 15, we will see the song of Moses. So after the crossing of the Red Sea, which was Passover, we see the song of Moses. The song of Moses. Then Moses and the people of Israel sang this song to the Lord, saying, okay, so we have a song of Moses right here in Exodus 15, and in Revelation 15, the song of Moses is right after the harvest, which was in chapter 14. And this is a prelude to the bowl judgments. If we go into chapter 16, Then we go into chapter 16 of Revelation. It says, "Then I heard a loud voice from the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go and pour out the bowls of the wrath of God on the earth." And then we have the beginning of the wrath of God after the harvest, after the Song of Moses, which was, conjoined with the time of Passover, confirmed by Exodus 15 after the crossing of the Red Sea, and then the beginning of the wrath in chapter 16. Okay, so I'll just leave this information with you guys. This is something I saw today while I was in church. We were reading something out of chapter 15, and I saw this connection as I was looking at the harvest and then the Song of Moses, and it struck me that, wow, there's a real interesting, real important, beautiful clue right there in Revelation 14 and 15. The harvest, the Song of Moses, and then the wrath of God that is going to be poured out. Okay, guys, this is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. I pray you're blessed. Amen.